know this.
Drinks trolley. I've missed the drinks trolley. The only drink I've had off the trolley has been Lucozade.
I'll bet.
Yeah. And fresh water, obviously. What are you selecting for us today?
Well, I thought, why not? It's not dry January anymore, so a gluten-free vegan pale ale, 6%. Mm-hmm. Very, very tasty. Magic Mountain, it's called, from a local brewery to me called Arbor, who are very delicious. So I would suggest just a half.
When you said that.
You had me at vegan.
6%, I think half is going to be enough.
A lot of the drinks that you drink are vegan, you just don't know it.
Yeah.
No,
just putting that out there.
You don't know what I drink.
Yes, I do.
Bat's blood.
Yes, that's what I drink.
Today's confession comes from Freddie. Freddie, thank you very much indeed for sending this one in. You get today's smart speaker. Send yours to confessions@greatesthitsradio.co.uk. Father Simon, Sister Susie, Brother Matthew, I am seeking forgiveness for a situation that I caused back in 1984 when I was 10 years old. Let me set the scene. I grew up in a large town on the outskirts of a city. The town was split by a river running through the middle. On one side, the posh side, were bay-fronted houses on tree-lined drives, a memorial park with a tennis club, leisure centre and a duck pond.
Yeah.
There are people now going,
yeah,
I think that's where, is that where we are? On the other side, my side, says Freddie, council houses, block of flats, patch of grass with a 25-foot slide set in concrete and some broken swings. The primary school that I was, it's a bit, I think it's very, anyway, set the scene, so it's like a divided town.
Yes,
basically.
got that, yeah.
North and south, you worked that one out.
Yeah.
The primary school that I was attending was in the centre of the town and served both sides of the river. The posh side had the bottom gate, which was a very impressive entrance with decorative ironwork, proudly displaying the school's name and coat of arms. And we had the top gate, which was essentially a gap in a wire fence.
Oh, come on. Surely not.
No.
That's
on the nose, that.
Freddie is describing.
I don't know.
It's the 1980s.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Now says Freddie, which is Freddie IE, so could be girl, could be boy. A new girl had started the school, and she was called Rebecca, and she lived on the posh side. She was lovely and got lots of attention, but didn't act like the other girls. She didn't really pay me much attention, but one lunchtime she came over to me, and we started chatting. We got on really well, and out of the blue I suggested she came home with me and had tea that afternoon. Well, Father Simon, obviously the promise of Findus crispy pancakes and watching a pirate copy of E.T. on Betamax worked. As
amazing.
Come 3:30, Rebecca is walking out of the top gate holding my hand. I was on cloud 9 and I couldn't wait to introduce her to my dad. I walked her past the broken swing, past the laundrette and the local flat. The local flat roof pub with bins on top, and then we reached my house. It's very happy valley.
Yeah.
I ring the doorbell, and my dad, who I should tell you, Father Simon, sounds a bit like Ray Winston.
Oh, does he? Well, that's fortunate.
That's good. Yeah.
Answers the door and says, "Who's this?" Does her mum know she's here? You can't just bring friends home like this, you know. Sounds a little bit like Ray Winston.
Well, exactly the same as your normal voice.
We both stood there looking guilty. We realised we had made an error. The enormity of the situation and the unfamiliar surroundings hit Rebecca, and she starts sobbing uncontrollably and wanting her mum. My dad tries to reassure her and says, "Don't worry, we can ring her. What's your number?" Sadly for us, she wasn't quite sure of her phone number, but she was able to give her parents' name and the street where they lived. Excuse me. My dad grabs the phone book and manages to get her phone number.
Oh, yeah.
It's the 80s.
It is the 80s.
What my dad does next is what will stay with me for the rest of my life. He dials the number. Those few seconds watching the fingers turn in the dial seemed like hours. I heard the phone ringing, and then... Still got it. Rebecca's mum answers, and my dad says, "I've got your daughter." The next few minutes are a bit of a blur, and I don't know what was said, but I did hear my dad say, no, it's not like that. No, wait, stop, wait." He manages to calm the situation and explain what happened, comes to the agreement that she should stay for tea and then get dropped back home later. So I'm seeking forgiveness from all those involved for what I imagine, excuse me again, for what I imagine was a very stressful, not quite a kidnap situation. The telling off I got from my dad afterwards worked, as it was another 14 years before I took another girl home. Well, you can imagine how that would have happened. Nobody did anything wrong.
No, they didn't. No,
I don't think so. But let's see what Sister Susie says.
Well, I don't know, Freddie. Dad is quite right in that you shouldn't have just brought her home. There maybe should have been something that was pre-arranged and that we could have sorted another time.
You didn't do that in the 80s, did you?
Well, I feel like did you? Well, I don't know. I always agreed
you
before
probably
I went to someone
80s.
else's house.
Yeah, because, you know.
It sounds as though they just decided it off their own backs. They didn't ask permission.
Didn't ask permission. Yeah, they just went and did it, which is right. But also, I feel like the dad could have handled it slightly better.
Yes, I suppose.
But therefore, maybe you should have checked with parents first, Freddie. So I'm not going to forgive you.
Okay, starting harsh. Yes, what do you say, Brother Matthew?
Well, I think this is a great story. It's very much like the sort of star-crossed lovers, isn't it? Different sides of the tracks. The Pat Benatar probably sang about this. Probably, I don't know. And that is why it's given me a warm feeling inside. Probably related to the fact that, we haven't had confessions for about 10 days. So I'm feeling in a generous mood. So let's forgive. Let's start off with a forgive.
Do you think it might have been the gratuitous reference to Finder's Crispy Pancakes?
Oh, remember them? Are they still going?
I don't know, but they were fantastic.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
It was like the hottest food that you'd ever had.
Absolutely. Steak and onion or chicken.
All tasted the same.
Yep.
Okay, so